Right then, welcome back to the channel. 5 Things We Learned is back for the pre-season, and some things didn't get learned from last season after all of the lessons. But it's okay, we'll get into them, because I actually think let's start on a positive, shall we? Or at least should we try? I thought, first thing up, Vitek looked like he impressed, in all honesty. I thought he had a lot of challenges. He faced a lot of shots, obviously. But there were some real quality saves from him. And he looked at ease at the level, which is all you want from him, really, especially in the first half. It didn't really stop for him in the second half. If there was going to be a man of the match that was in a United shirt, Vitek is the man. Outside of that, there wasn't really too many standouts, I don't think. But I think it was clear Vitek, probably the man of the match. Proving himself to be a quality shot stopper. And there's genuine quality, obviously, in Bayende, and obviously, of course, in Onana. But he's proven himself to be a good goalkeeper, given, maybe some people think about him if he ever comes to it. The third choice goalkeeper is a weird spot to be in. Obviously, Tom Heaton still exists, still a thing, still around at the club. So where he finds himself in, don't know. Does he require a loan? Don't know. Very interesting sort of situations that you find yourselves in when you have like third and fourth choice goalkeepers, especially when they're young ones starting their career with the club. You have to make the right decisions to make the right thing happen for them. The minutes just do not come as easily as they come for players in other positions. You're not going to give a good sub goalkeeper 5 minutes at the end of a game. It just doesn't happen, does it? So you got to think slow when it comes to what you're going to do with these, and think strategically.
From planning my Euro 2024 predictions in Manchester to cheering for the teams in Germany, Surfshark keeps my online activities protected and uninterrupted no matter where I am. Surfshark VPN changes your IP address, lets you virtually travel to anywhere in the world, means you can stream from the UK media libraries when you're on holiday. It encrypts your data and masks your IP, especially on those dodgy public Wi-Fi networks, shielding you from lurking hackers in the digital abyss. With Surfshark, there is no logging of your activities, granting you true internet freedom. Say goodbye to the pesky ads, trackers, and malware, creating a seamless, secure online realm for your exploration. And the best part, one account covers all your devices. If you're ready to enhance your online journey, use the code Howson, that's HOWSON, for an additional 4 months free at surfshark.deals/Howson. And with a 30-day money-back guarantee, there is no reason to hesitate. Join the Surfshark family today and surf the internet worry-free. Thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Click the link in the description for this amazing discount.
Secondly, yeah, it was poor. It was poor. Rosenborg had a really good start to the game, and that carried on all the way through the game. Obviously got the winner very late on. United did have some decent, bright moments. There was a couple of times where you saw flashes of like the real quality that you would expect of United, despite it not being an 11 that looked anything like a quality 11. But there wasn't really any sort of moments aside. There wasn't any sort of period in the game where you looked at it and you're like, oh yeah, United have got, we're getting in the rhythm. The rhythm's coming. Yeah, and we're doing things. And again, no shame because it's pre-season, but Rosenborg are into the swing of their season properly. There is a physical gap. I think perhaps playing games like this in pre-season show you that physical gap is just real. And it has to be accounted for when you're looking at how it goes off in pre-season. Like I said, no shame in it, but there's clearly a lot of work to do. Young players did bits. I think Vítek obviously got his own mention, but the likes of Collyer, Ennis, Fish, etc., they all deserve a little bit of credit for the stints that we saw from them today. Some of them struggled. Some of those youngsters. What the ideal scenario really is you have young players coming into the squad, they're paired alongside a lot of experienced pros, and they almost get walked through the game to a point where you don't really need to think about what you're doing, because they're just going to almost be guided through the game and talked to, and even just little reassuring things like they take the ball, they make a pass, no one says anything to them, they start doubting themselves. Whereas if you're playing alongside an experienced pro, you take the ball, you make a decent pass, and you go, well played, good ball, good pass, just stuff like that. And I think those sorts of things really then start to like grow the confidence in those young players, because they're being given instant feedback. They're not second guessing. They're not in their own heads. And I think obviously the circumstances are the circumstances. You know, it's a pre-season tour. We haven't had loads of people available, so we've taken what was available. And what was available was kids, and like Wan-Bissaka, Rashford, Casemiro, Johnny Evans, of course. So you would want more than that, especially in the second half when you didn't really have many of that at all. You want a lot more of that, getting out there and giving praise and giving feedback, right and wrong feedback as well, because then they can start correcting it and just helping them through the games, especially against an opposition that's going to be physically dominating you in the sense that the way Rosenborg were. That's how it's meant to be. But not every situation is perfect. And sometimes you just got to stand on your own 2 feet and figure it out. And that was kind of how United decided it was going to have to play off today. Fucking figure it out, lads. Number 4, I would say the tempo has to improve. The tempo was lacking today. And when I think of the best Manchester United sides, 93, 94, 99, 2008, the best United sides, it was always about setting the tempo. Just play the game at a speed that the opposition go, fucking hell, and break them with it. That wasn't happening. And again, a little bit of mitigation there because it's pre-season, but there was just a bit of an absence of control and also tempo. There were senior players in there. They obviously got minutes that they needed. Mount, another one that I forgot to mention actually as well. And it will get easier the more games and the more minutes are under people's belts. But you could almost just see like every player was on a little bit of a different page, either physically, mentally, verbally. Like it just didn't really want to click, did it? Which is a bit of a shame. And then last, I know I've already touched on this, but it's the truth. And there's only so many things you can say about it. And one of the things you can say about it is we were finding our feet. Sound a little bit like a broken record, but it is the first pre-season game. You can't take the result too seriously, despite the fact that people are absolutely going to take that result too seriously. But there's no reason to be gutted. No one likes losing, of course. But pre-season is just about getting little things right. So there may have been a focus, there may have been a plan, there may have been X, Y, and Z for how we were going to shape this up today. And some things may have gone to plan, even though the result didn't. Like they might have been working on playing out. They might have been working through transitioning from attack to defence. Because I did see that 4-4-2 shape from them. That might have been the focus there. They might have been like, right, okay, actually don't give a fuck what we do with the ball. What I want to see us do is, when we lose it, 2 people press, everybody else regain a shape, and we'll get back into a 4-4-2. And we'll see how many times we can do that. Because that is the sort of shit that you're going to work on in pre-season, where you'll say, this is today's focus of the game. That's why I don't think you see complete performances in pre-season. I think they're sort of pre-exhausted by either what they did yesterday or what they've done today. I don't think they ever go into it with the same sort of freshness levels that you typically get in the season. And I think they go, today, we're only fucking bothered about tomorrow, next week, next Saturday, Rangers, they might say, we want to work on crossing. We want to work on getting like 5 and 6 in the final third. That might be what we work on next week. So you have a focus for each one. Wasn't very obvious what it was for us today, although I did think we got back into defensive shape fairly well. Outside of that, yeah, first pre-season game. We're not on a tour yet. This is just whatever, innit? Yeah, so job's a good one. Anyway, that's it from me. I've waffled enough. There'll be loads more content coming out. Stay tuned for it, and I'll catch you lot in the next one. See you later.
Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.